I'm Presto, and you're watching Pros and Joy-Cons. Today, we're going to be diving into the pros and cons of Princess Peach Showtime. But first, let's talk about the elephant in the room. What? No, not you. What are you... Get out. This game is very easy. Nothing here will provide any experienced gamer with much challenge, but that isn't necessarily a bad thing. This is a good reset game to play. A game for when you need a break and want to relax and not scream at something. It's also a great first game, so if you have a kid or sibling who thinks video games are too hard, this is a good one to start them on. It also does a good job of balancing easiness with boringness. Believe me, those are two different things. None of the gameplay here is mind-numbing, and you'll have a fun time with it. This game is very easy. Now, I know I just said this is a pro, but for a lot of people, this is a negative. Funnily enough, if you're looking for the next Elden Ring or Hollow Knight, then maybe the cute Princess Peach game is not for you. There are some points where the game can feel a little bit boring and undifficult. Spamming the same button to fight off a few enemies, or solving puzzles that are on par with the mysteries solved in Mickey Mouse's Clubhouse. The final boss was also easier than a lot of the main game bosses. I only took a single point of damage in the entire two-phase boss fight. The rest of the boss battles, however, are pretty good. Each offers a unique idea that makes you have to think a little bit to figure out how to defeat it, and sports a fun, theater-themed design. Still easy, but it adds even more variety to a game that's already chock full of it. Unfortunately, you have to fight these fights as the base version. All she can do in this state is wave Stella the ribbon around. That wouldn't be a bad thing, except for the fact that base Peach's gameplay is really slow and really boring. She really needs a costume to get some for fun abilities, and without it, her movement feels kind of lackluster. It lacks... yes? Luster. If they added a bit more speed, or maybe an up and a down attack, it'd feel a lot better. Unfortunately, because they had so many different costumes to work on, not every costume ever feels very deep. Each usually has one primary ability, like the Sword Fighter Sword Attack, and the Ninja's Sneaking. Most of them usually go beyond their main ability, with Sword Fighter incorporating a dodge and a parry, and Ninja's numerous sneaking and platforming options. A few only have one draw though, and so feel quite shallow. All the Detective does is decide if things are suspicious or not. Mighty, in my opinion the most boring, only has a single punch attack, and all Ice Skater does is spin and jump. All of these get boring after a while and feel more like chores than fun. And you never want video games to feel like a chore. Isn't that right, Tom Nook? I mean, I love chores in video games. This is a Princess Peach game through and through. It's cool to see such a celebration and growth of a character that's really only known for being kidnapped by Bowser and having emotions. Hopefully Nintendo will keep treating Princess Peach with the respect she deserves, and also start giving this treatment to other characters. We now have Wario games, Yoshi games, Peach games, Luigi games. Now Nintendo, all you have to do is give us a Waluigi game. Please. Please, Nintendo? I'm begging you with every ounce of my being. No? Okay. This game only runs at 30 FPS, and even at that low frame rate, I definitely noticed a couple of frame rate dips. Overall, I just noticed a slight lack of polish in this game. It wasn't a lot, but it was there, making it feel more like a third-party game a la Mario plus Rabbids than something as polished as Animal Crossing or Mario Odyssey. I think this is in part due to the fact that this game was developed by Goodfeel, developers of Kirby's Rainbow Carnival and Yoshi's Crafted World, but also in part because it was made in Unreal Engine, which is a new engine for the developers and not as reliable as an in-house engine could be. This feels like it has its own separate place in the Mario canon. New villains, Grape and the Sour Bunch, help emphasize this with fun color palettes and designs not normally used in Mario games, and even the civilian race in this game is different. Instead of being the usual Toads, they're the drama-loving Feets. I don't like that name. I do, however, like how these new characters give an air of freshness into Princess Peach Showtime, just like how the Ghost and Egad gave some to Luigi's Mansion. In fact, I wouldn't complain about a return to the Sparkle Theater and its residents. This is a Mario spin-off though, so the story is no Xenoblade. It basically boils down to Grape stole the theater and turned all the plays into tragedies, and you gotta get it back with the help of a random sentient ribbon named Stella. Honestly, I'm kind of on the side of Grape here. Some of these stories could be way more interesting as tragedies. Sadly, Peach is here to help, and quickly writes the play back into the simple and happy tale it's supposed to be. At the end, you defeat Grape and save the theater. Anything unpredictable? Nope. Any twists? Nope, but it's a Mario spin-off, so that's to be expected. The game looks nice. Not beautiful or mind-blowing by any means, but nice. It has good animations and does a good job of keeping the theater aesthetic going throughout, with details such as Mighty Peach being hung from the top of the stage and thorns being made out of cardboard. It's nothing incredible, but it feels like they achieved what they set out to do. It's not plot for the Super Nintendo. This game lets you customize Peach and Stella's look quite a bit, letting you unlock every color under the sun for Stella's ribbon, and buying a bunch of different design dresses for Peach. My personal favorite is the disco dress. I may not have been alive during the 70s, but they knew how to party. At some point in the game, you unlock rehearsals. These are small challenges you do with your costumes, and usually involve doing a task without taking damage. These are ridiculously hard compared to the breeze the rest of the game is, and I gave up on doing them entirely. The gameplay feel is generally good. It's almost like that's the name of the company! Ninja, Kung Fu, and Dashing Thief stand out especially on this front, with their quick, satisfying, and tight movement. I would always look forward to a level with one of those. The ending of the game is meh. It's not bad, the animation is all great, but the fight isn't difficult, and afterwards it kinda just ends. It also has a completely different control scheme to the rest of the game, so forget everything you've learned about the game up to this point. Imagine a kind of costume gauntlet, where you would switch from costume to finally defeat Grape. I personally think that'd be a lot cooler. Write that down. Each level has a lot of replay value. They all have a certain number of hidden stars that you can find, as well as ribbons to give Peach and Stella more costume options. There were only a couple levels where I got all the collectibles in the first run-through, so that'll give you a bit more time with the game. You'll need those second run-throughs of levels because this game is short! Beating the whole thing only took me about 6 hours. Again, there's a lot of replay value to be had, and you get even more after the credits roll, but it still isn't a lot of bang for your buck, especially when your buck in this case is the $60 that Nintendo is charging for this game. I personally feel that this game, for the content it offers, deserves closer to a $50 price point, like the recent WarioWare games have gotten. The price is definitely something to factor into whether or not to get this game, because if you're just doing the story, $10 an hour is a steep price to pay. This game has a wonderful soundtrack. Each play has different themes that fit the vibe very well, and each theme is an actual jam. Seriously, this is not an OST to sleep on. And there you have it, folks. I think you've heard everything you need to know about whether or not to pick the game up. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe to the Gaming Corner podcast and check out our other videos. Leave a like and comment down below your favorite and least favorite parts of Princess Peach Showtime. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have an elephant to deal with. I'll see you on the Switch side.